Hello and welcome to Badminton Unlimited's special 5-part series looking at the top Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games contenders. In this 5th and final part, it's all about the scintillating men's singles discipline as we speak with 5 players who are already in the Japanese capital preparing to get their campaigns underway.
这个是意义是特别不一样，特别是我觉得就是善意放在我们里面的一个梦想。
First, let's look at how the players qualified for Tokyo 2020. For badminton, 172 players will compete at the Games. Nations can enter a maximum of 2 players each in the men's and women's singles if both are ranked in the world's top 16. Otherwise, it's 1 place until the roster of 38 players has been completed. Each of the 5 continental confederations of Asia, Africa, Europe, Americas, and Oceania will be guaranteed at least 1 entry in each event. 6 spots are also made available through the Tripartite Commission invitation, with 3 each in men's and women's singles. Here is the final list of qualified men's singles players and the groups they've been drawn into. For men's singles, there shall be 14 seeded players, with Japan's Kento Momota leading the pack. The seeded players have been split into 14 groups, with 3 per group. The winner of each group would then proceed to the knockout rounds.
"从小的时候，5、6年级，大概11、12岁就已经有这个梦想，说我要拿到奥运金牌。就是当时也不是说我只有拿到世界冠军，而是说大家一定会看你最重要的价值，最高的那个。所以对奥运来说，就是你从这么小就开始努力的打了20年、30年，你的心血都付在这里的时候，你就好像是一个你要去兑现。 这个是意义是特别不一样，特别是我觉得就是善意放在我们里面的一个梦想。
Cho Tianchen could not have asked for a brighter start to his Olympic qualification. The Chinese Taipei ace propelled off the starting blocks, winning the biggest title of his career, the Super 1000 Indonesia Open, followed by the 500 Series Thailand Open and his home event.
对啊，也没想到就是奥运积分一开始的时候就可以赢这么多场，然后我本来也是想说，我能尽力先去做到，至少先拿到门票，然后就去拼种子排名。那后来一开始就有先冲上去，那觉得这也是奠定了一个很好的基础吧。那当时我觉得，不管自己在心态上、技术上，都有所成长，然后对后面的比赛也比较自信。当然，表现最好的还是2019印尼公开赛吧。 就当时还是就是自己也是很坚持吧，因为当时也是打了很多的3局，然后每一场都是时间都打了很久。在这么多强手之中，自己还是可以有生存的办法，然后可以去跟他们抗衡。
It wasn't all smooth sailing. Cho hit a roadblock, but it didn't take long for him to get back on track.
去年年初吧。 2020年初，那时候马来西亚跟印尼其实都没有打得特别好啊。其实那时候状态没有想象中可以发挥这么出色，可能有一些控制力啊，或者是说有一些肌力啊，或者一些速度，自己没有去掌握得很好。可能有时候就是觉得自己就是打控制啦，或是打什么就可以了，可是没有说当时这么的把自己的激情啊、自己的喊声啊去表现出来，所以后面的全运公开赛其实就是有努力去做这一点。
The Olympics has traditionally been the swan song for many players. At 31 years of age, Is Cho considering retirement?
我打算打到40岁啊，我继续打。对啊，就是努力去做到，就是把状态维持最好，就是要休息就好好休息，要怎么样就怎么样，就是你要保持自己的身体健康。你看老LeBron James他不是对不对？他已经也是36了，他也是生龙活虎吧。所以我就觉得，他们都是我看齐的对象。现在越来越多这种科学性的训练啊，你可以不用土法炼钢啊，你可以有更多的选择啊，你可以给身体更多的刺激啊，对，所以就目标40岁了。
When Olympic qualifying began, Anders Antonsen was ranked 14th in the world. The Dane peaked at the right time, climbing up to reach a career best world number 3 and collecting valuable points en route to fulfilling his dream of competing at the Games.
I always wanted to participate in the Olympic Games, so I just wanted to qualify, and I remember I got a quite good start at the qualification period, so I think I was full of expectation and just excited to get started. Everything was just going very fast for me that year, and I have so many good memories. I also remember that my training was really good. I was consistent, no big injuries or anything like that, so I think that, the highlights must be winning the Indonesian Masters, my first big title, and runner-up at the World Championships. Even though it ended in terrible fashion in the final, that was not a match that I'm really proud of, but still, runner-up at a World Championship is quite good. So I was, on a great run. So I would have loved, every tournament to have been played at that time, because I felt strong and in good shape. So there's nothing positive about COVID and the whole situation. It's been a mess. So of course it wasn't good. I wasn't happy with it for sure. I remember I was being a little bit afraid of the whole event being cancelled. So for it just to be postponed was quite positive, and I was happy with that. I also, I twisted my ankle at the All England in 2020, so I don't know if I would have been in great shape if the Olympics was being played back in 2020. So that was kind of, a little bit lucky for me that it got postponed.
Under COVID-19's new normal, players' preparations for the Olympics have been far from ideal. For Antonsen, it was an opportunity to recharge, reset, and ready himself in the best way possible.
When Malaysia and Singapore got postponed, I went on a trip to Spain for a little bit more than 2 weeks, and get away a little bit, do something else, live a different life than I'm used to back here in Denmark. And it was really, really good for my mental headspace to get away and be with my friends for a little while still practicing hard. Yeah, that's how I've dealt with it so far, and now we are back in practice and preparing towards the Olympics. I really look forward to get started and experience it on my own body, because you hear so much about the Olympics being the biggest thing that you can participate in and stuff like that. So yeah, I just want to try it out and see how I'm able to deal with it, because it might be a different pressure you're under. It's been a long time since every player has been in the draw together. So I look forward to see the level of all the other players, and I feel that there's many strong players, and I can see 6-8 players maybe running away with the gold medal. So it is a tough competition, and I feel like I'm amongst those 6-8 players. On my best days, I can challenge all the other guys for sure. But I don't really feel any added pressure because of my world ranking. I guess I just gain confidence from it. I would love to get a medal, and I would love to get a gold medal for sure. I'm definitely not just there to participate and just have fun and experience the Olympics. I want to do well, but I'm not sure how my life will change if I do really well. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many questions, and I'm just curious to get the answers. But of course, it would mean a lot. It's a big occasion, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
More from Denmark coming up after the break, as fourth seed Victor Axelsen shares his story about qualifying for the Olympic Games.
Because of the bumpy start to the qualification, I have been pushed to play maybe a few more tournaments than I maybe originally planned to do.
Welcome back to Badminton Unlimited's special preview of the men's singles discipline. In this part of the show, we hear from medal contenders Victor Axelsen and Li Jia, as well as Mauritian Georges-Julien Paul on making his dreams come true at Tokyo 2020.
The champion, Victor Axelsen, goes one better.
Obviously, I have a bronze medal at home, so I would like to make it a more, I could say, interesting color. That's my dream, that's my goal, and I go in, to win. Every time I go compete around the world, you have to believe that you can win the tournament, and this time will be no different.
Since his heroics in Rio 2016, Victor Axelsen has risen to become one of the hot favourites at Tokyo 2020. The world number 2 will be banking everything in his arsenal as he eyes badminton's biggest prize.
I think the most important thing for me was to actually just, try to stay calm and focus on my training and focus on my next game. Going through a qualification is always stressful. First of all, just to make sure that you qualified, but also when it comes to the seeding and everything. But I've been really pleased with how I've handled, especially the last part of the qualification. I've had a little bit of injury challenges in the start and not playing my best. Because of the bumpy start to the qualification, I have been pushed to play maybe a few more tournaments than I maybe originally planned to do. I was happy to finish strong and secure myself not only the qualification, obviously, but also the fourth seeding. All England is still, the top. I think, it's a dream coming true winning the All England. I've been watching since I was a little kid. So obviously that was a big win for me and must be the, how can you say, the biggest high this whole qualification period. It was definitely a scare. Luckily, I didn't have any symptoms whatsoever. I couldn't taste or smell for a few days, but no complications here afterwards also. It was an investment in myself to get back home, eat the right foods, isolate and get healthy as quick as possible. Just goes to show that you have to respect this pandemic and, really have to be careful. But it's nice after all for me right now that I'm immune and I don't have to think too much about it and being scared right now. So yeah, but that was a crazy experience and there's going to be a lot of good stories for my future grandkids. I don't have a, necessarily a form of game plan. The Olympics is a little bit different because you can have a rest day during the group. You can, get a tough draw. You can get a, not an easy draw, but you know what I mean. Like you can play maybe players you want often see at the World Tour. But it's all, the charm of the Olympics. It's how it is. I go in there for every match with great motivation and a willingness to obviously fight with everything I have. And then I take it from there, one step at a time, do your best. And it sounds boring, but it works. And that's my game plan. To sit here and be preparing for the Olympics, it's a dream of, coming true for me, starting as a 5-6-year-old kid, and now sitting here in this position talking to you is obviously something you sometimes have to take a step back and be thankful that you're in this position. So there's a lot of pressure, but pressure is a privilege, as you know. And yeah, I'm enjoying life so far, and let's see what happens in Tokyo. One thing I know for sure, it's that I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna enjoy doing it. So we'll see what happens.
我觉得全部羽毛球员都希望能够就是站上那个在奥运会的那个讲台嘛。当然，我也是从小就是有一个这样的梦想，可是就是终于就是能 qualify。第一当然是希望自己能拿到牌吧，不管是什么颜色。当然，在同时我也不希望给自己制造就是没有必要的这些压力吧。 主要还是以一个就是第一次去参赛、去拿经验的一个想法，去准备这个奥运会去打这个比赛。2019开始的时候，我觉得我是表现蛮不错的，虽然是没有就是拿下冠军啊或者什么，可是那时候我觉得我的状态就是逐渐就是慢慢都在好起来的那种状态，因为 排名都一直在上升嘛，所以那时候也有 upset 一些high rank 的球员，比如就是 Excelson 啊、成龙啊，就是一些我都没有想过会赢的人，就是都赢了。但其实对我来说也是增加了我的信心，也是对我蛮大的一个肯定。 一直以来，肯定在我的羽球生涯中一定会有低潮和高潮。我觉得这次泰国的打击会比较大，一整年也没有比赛，所以那场比赛的话，对于我来讲，我是准备，我觉得我自己是准备的蛮充足的，没有想到就是会打到那么差，我对我自己也是很失望，所以打击也非常大，没有想到就是那时候会一下子就是 马上就是能拿到那个全英赛冠军，我本来也是这样，有可能8强遇到某某大应该也是输了。
Look at that reaction. Tells its own story, doesn't it? Kento Momota, the world #1, derailed.
就是当时就是赢了磨刀，肯定信心也是回来了全部，而且就是手感啊，想法全部都是进入状态了，所以就是接下来4强跟就是还有决赛的这一场球，我就跟我自己讲，我觉得就是考验我的mental 的时候了。就是我觉得安塞龙也是，就是前一场也是打安东森也是打到蛮激烈的，所以我跟我自己讲，就是这是一个机会吧，难得就是从泰国的那个低潮，就是慢慢现在又爬起来，好不容易了，只差一步，所以 要趁着这个机会，是一个很好的一个机会，我必须把握，必须就是坚持下去，拿这个冠军。自从李宗伟退下来过后，就是全部专注力都在我身上了，肯定一开始都会造成我的压力吧。我也是一个蛮 stubborn 的一个人。 所以就是当我看到这些评论的话，我第一时间伤心完过后，我肯定是对自己讲，我要证明给他们看哦，我就是马来西亚的唯一，就是第一男单嘛。
Rubbing shoulders with the big boys at Tokyo 2020 will be Mauritius's very own Georges Julien Paul. Earning his ticket through the continental representation place, it's been a long but fulfilling journey for the world #84.
So it means really a lot for me because it's a journey that started since young, and it was a dream going for Olympics, and I worked for it since the past 4 years. I stopped my studies to play fully badminton. I moved to Malaysia/India for 2.5 years to reach a certain level, and now I'm reaching my goal. So it's really great feelings, and I'm really happy I'm looking forward for the games, and yeah, it's just a huge experience for me. to represent Africa in this big international scene. I think it was my brother. He was also a national player, but he had this dream of Olympics, which he couldn't make it because of injury. I followed his path, and maybe his dream came to me, and I'm happy that I can reach this Olympics for both of us. And he has always been behind me, like my family of course, but he's the one, he knows badminton and he knows what I've been through, and yeah, he's the one I would really thank him. Choice to move to Denmark now is maybe safety first, but also I know there is a lot of good players training there. Felix from Sweden, Lino from Mexico, and I tried 2 weeks last year before the lockdown, and I know the training is really intense and quality. The players are there for a reason, so they're all really focused and training 100%. That's why I chose to move in Denmark for the last preparation, and I hope that I will get my level like it was before lockdown. I encourage African countries to find solutions for training, because it's the only thing that makes us reach another step in badminton. So the main thing for me is sparring and training.
When it comes to men's singles, in my book, that Kento Momota is the favorite to win. His strength is his basic game is very, very strong. His defense is strong. He can keep the rallies going for a long, long time. If you can say he's got a weakness, it's possibly his attack. He's a good attacker, but sometimes he's not putting, in my opinion, enough emphasis on it. My next player is Victor Axelsen. He's got a good attack. He's using his height very well. He's a good fighter. When it comes to weakness, it's whether he can sustain, maintain the pace and the power all the way through the tournament. My player number 3 is Anders Antonsen. Anders Antonsen is a clever player. We have also seen on many occasions that his physical ability is not as strong as some of the other players. However, his game plan, his understanding of the game, his ability to find the winners, his cheekiness on court is definitely a plus. In my second group, I have 3 players as well, and it was extremely interesting to see how well Lisi Cha did at the All England, came out on top, became champion. His weakness, which I think has improved tremendously, is his defense, but we saw at the All England that it's getting better and better. And his strength is obviously his attack, especially from his around the head situation. Then for me, a complete wildcard, and that's Shiuchi. He's been out for such a long time, not only 18 months, but before the 18 months he was injured with an ankle injury that kept him out for a long time. He's got the talent, he's got the ability, he's got the pace, he's very aggressive when he's playing good, and that can upset anyone. The last one for me is Anthony Ginting. He has got tremendous pace. If he can control that pace and he can control his opponents, the way he's moving on court, how quickly he's getting to the shots, then he's dangerous to anyone at any given time. The key in the men's singles is the stamina. When the venue was tested back in 2019, the experience is that it's quite slow conditions, which means that the physical side of the game comes even more into play. And I think that could possibly favor Kento Momota, player like Lisi Cha, Anthony Ginting. They are physically strong players. A lot of people will probably think, why have I not mentioned Zhou Chen Chen? because he's possibly the strongest, fittest player of them all. However, he's playing the same style, the same way all the time, whether he's playing the All England final or he's playing the first round of the French Open or whatever. I fear for him that that's not enough, despite the fact that he's possibly physically the strongest of them all.
That is all the time that we have. We hope you enjoyed our special preview of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Next week, we feature a couple of former Olympians who were recently inducted into the BWF Hall of Fame.
也是对我运动生涯的一个肯定，那这也将是我人生的一段美好、非常重要的一个记忆。
For more latest updates, news and special features on Tokyo 2020, head to olympics.bwfbadminton.com. It's goodbye for now.